Welcome dear students. In the current session, I would talk about the semantic and syntactic features of Middle English. I hope by the end of this session, you would be able to identify certain semantic and syntactic features as they were represented in the Middle English. Well, my dear students, on the screen you can see some text. This is the text that I hope you are already familiar with. By the way, just to give you a quick memory of the text is the translation that I have shown on the screen for you. This is the text that I assume you already know. When the castles were made, then filled they them with devil and evil men. If you remember this text, this is the second part of the same text that continues, and for your, refreshing of your memory, I am showing you the translation of this part as well, where the torture that was given to these men, that the writer is talking about, is given in detail. So we would do some study, examination or analysis of this text once again, that is for the purpose of its semantic and syntactic features. There are certain features or points of grammar which remind us of Old English as we look at this text. Because the text is not taken from the last part or the second half of the Middle English, rather it is from the early part of it, it is closer to Old English in certain features. I would like you to notice the pronouns of the third person plural that are used, here, and the English forms that are used here. I am pointing those out for you. These three forms that are used, not the Scandinavian forms, these three. I would take you back to the text to help you identify them at some point. Here you can notice how they are used. For example, this her. And again, here you can notice. So, I have pointed all the three instances from the text for you. With this, we move on to the next point, and that is an important feature of the syntax that I would like to identify for you. Some examples of verb-subject order can be noticed in this text. One example is, and here it is given in modern English, here in this part of it, then seized they the people. I would show you the text. It is the same text, only this time I have highlighted here some part in red that shows this structure. When you go to its translation, again here I have highlighted in red color here for you, then seized they the people. We do not use this structure in modern English. Well, my dear students, it was the freedom that the structure of Old English gave, that there could be a variety of, syntactic structures, there could be variety of word orders. And in this text also, like Old English, one of such possibilities is used, as I have shown to you. However, despite these resemblances through Old English, there are decided differences in the text as well. When I say differences, actually I am talking about differences from Old English. This is especially seen in the case of inflections, which are very much reduced as compared to Old English in this text. Old English had a lot of inflections, and this is what happened through the times, that during the Middle English period, they reduced very much. At the beginning, that is towards the beginning part or the first part of Middle English, we find them reducing gradually. Towards the end of, Middle Ages, we find they were no more there. Another important aspect that I want to discuss is adjectives. Adjectives have almost lost their endings here. There is a plural by adding, E at the end on some of them, such as. Otherwise, we do not find any examples. So, for example, mid full smoke. Would have been in Old English, as this one. Mid fullum smoken. But this Old English feature, here, that could have been used is not used by this writer here of, Middle English period. And, these parts are not, seen in this text. These inflections for the dative singular, we find they are not used. Another important aspect with reference to the grammar and syntax is the use of article. Article, specifically I'm talking about the definite article, which is almost invariably, these forms. For example, the castles, by the foot, that is feet. There is only one example of this one that I have already shown you in the text. My dear students, in Old English, of course, the definite article was fully declined. The equivalent of now this one that is used in this text. This is what I have copied from this text. If it would have been written, in Old English, it would have been written like, yahan se, you can see this one, this part of it. Notice this choice, notice this addition of here and the addition of here. These plural, sounds that are added, the preposition be governing the dative. My dear students, another interesting case is of this text that I have taken, this part of the text, by nights and by days. In fact, this choice that the writer of this text has made, this is a halfway house between the Old English and the modern, comparatively modern English, the Middle English, because by nights and by days, here the genitive inflection, is used, and, es has an adverbial force. Whereas you can compare it with the modern, by night and day. We do not say by nights and days now. What we say is by night and day. So actually what the writer has introduced is the preposition by, that is, a kind of modern writing style for the writer, but has also retained this es plural ending that is used, to create this by nights and days. I hope the analysis of this text from the semantic and particularly syntactic aspects would help you and would give you confidence to try to explore such extracts on your own.